Evening, everyone. It's 6:14, and this is your closing comment for today, Thursday, the 16th of February, and it is video number 1665. And it was a hell of a day. We had Bester, the president of the Cleveland Fed, speak early, saying that she was in the raise of a 0.5% versus a quarter for this past rate hike. After that, we had claims come in well under 200,000 again, and continuing claims about unchanged at 1,697,000. But we also had the CPI, the PPI, which came in very hot. It was 7/10. Expectation was for 4/10. Year over year was 6 versus 5.4. So pretty ugly. On top of that, housing starts came in about as expected, permits about the same. But then the Philly Fed index came in at down 24.3 versus down 8.9. If you remember, a couple of weeks ago, we had actually last week, we had the Empire State also come in the same way with a huge drop. So we started off to the downside, made the low of the day in the Dow around 10 o'clock, 10:30, down about 410, and then we started up. And that went on for most of the day, with the Dow getting back to down about 140. And then at 3 o'clock, it started lower again. Bullard had spoken before, and he absolutely mimicked Mester's view that he too believes that it should have been a 0.5 point. He also believes that the terminal rate, which was basically between 4.9 and 5.25%, is now 5.25 to 5.5%. And that also turned the market down. We finished at a new low of the day, down 431, or 1.25%. The Nasdaq was down 215, 1.75%, actually 1.78%, and that was the biggest loser. The S&P finished down 52, or 1.35, and the best performer was the Russell, which, in case you haven't noticed, has been outperforming on the upside. It was down 1876, which was only 0.96, and the transports down about 190, 1.23. Market internals were decidedly weak. 3-1 on the downside on the NYSE, and 2-1 over on the Nasdaq. Volume was slightly higher, and the VIX started back up. It's still only 2017, but it was up over 10.5% today, $1.94. As far as stocks went, across the board, it'll be in tonight's daily note, but across the board, stocks were pretty much lower. There were, I believe, none of the mega cap stocks, the FANG stocks, and there were none of them up at all today. So Dropbox, after the close, had earnings. The stock had closed 23.96, down 21 cents. Traded up to 22.88. Pardon me, 22.88, right down to 22.88. And finished the day at 23.40, which was down 77 cents. I know that there was a conference call, but it's a West Coast time, so it hasn't had the advantage of getting a little deeper into the weeds. DoorDash had a tremendous beat it was 66.89, down $1.29, or just under 2% at the close. It traded up to 77. The last is 70.49. That's up 231. So basically from down 2% to up 3.5%. Star Bulk, one that we have a position in. A lot of people that have followed me into that one for the dividend have also been writing against them, which is what I've been doing. We closed 22.57, down 3 cents. We had a beat, top and bottom line, and this is the worst quarter for Star Bulk. The stock turned down. 21.87 is the last, down 73 cents, or 3.23%. But what's interesting here is the dividend is 60 cents, which is 3% for the quarter. So, we were written against it. We won't get it called away, but we will write against it again. Right before that dividend comes out, because the stock tends to not only have the dividend come out, but gets a little on the weak side after that capture. And Silvergate, SI, had a huge day yesterday, and the day before got up as high as 24 today. There was some more bad news about, some bad player in the space, and it collapsed all the way back to 1701. The last is 1727, and that's down 505, or 22.5%. After it was bought, we wrote against it. I believe that the 20s, or the 20 and a halves, for about $3.50 or so. So while I hate to see it go down 7 points from the high, at the same time, it still has a huge short interest, and again, we didn't get hurt. I have a feeling that this Mester and Bullard stuff, just to change pace here for a second, is more about the Fed trying to do what they have successfully done in the last 8 months or a year, and that is to talk the market up in yield, as opposed to actually having to be on record as raising rates. So we'll see how that breaks out. There are two more Fed speakers tomorrow, I believe, and we'll see how it goes. As far as the futures market, the gold is down. The oil was slightly down. Bonds were slightly down. And that's really about it. Tonight, they've already reopened. The oil is down 62 cents. The nat gas is up 2 cents. Heating oil down 2 cents. It was 65 degrees here today, so a lot of people are not burning up that heating oil. Gasoline down 1.8 cents. The gold is 18.44. That's down 7.5. Silver down another 17 cents at 21.5. As far as the softs, the coffee keeps going. 180 up 3.25. Cotton hasn't reopened yet, but it was down a little. And the stock futures, NASDAQ is down 51, S&P is down 11, and the Dow is down 54. It's very early, so there's really not a lot of point in figuring on any of this, 12 hours from now. But the Russell is also down a little. Dollar was down about a nickel, even with higher rates. Excuse me. And Bitcoin has really been on a tear. Let's just see what the high was here today, because we've reopened, I don't get it on there. Yep. The high was 25,340. A close anywhere near that, anywhere above 24,240 would be a break out of this consolidation. We ran right into that 50-week moving average that I was talking about last night, and it turned it back down, but certainly not by much. It'd be easy to break it back to the upside. All right, everyone. Have a good evening, and I'll be back in the morning. And don't forget, tomorrow is an expert